Totally Spies, The School of Mandy, by Mark Saraceni and illustrated by Robert Rober. Chapter 1. I have got to buy those shoes, Clover declared. She stared nose pressed against the store window. Her blue eyes were fixed on a pair of bright pink strappy heels on the other side of the glass. Clover, Alex, and Sam had been strolling down Rodeo Drive on their way to Beverly Hills High, when Clover suddenly squealed. Now she stood wide-eyed at the shoes in the window display, desperate to have them. Alex hurried to Clover's side. "Oh!" Alex cooed. "They are hot! And pink is the season's chic color! They're the perfect shoes for my spring dance, and when I wear them, the new transfer student Brad won't be able to resist me!" exclaimed Clover. "Those shoes are hot, but you two ought to chill," said Sam. "Your social lives can wait, but Mr. Benson won't. We're supposed to start our lab today." Clover nodded. "You're right. Those shoes would look great in class, too. It would totally perk up our drab lab coats and geeky science apparel." "That is so not what I meant," said Sam. "Whatever," Clover said. "I'm gonna buy them right now." She pulled on the door of the store, but it was locked. "Let me in! I gotta get those shoes!" Clover cried as she pounded on the glass doors. "Clover, it's 7:30 in the morning," said Sam. "The store hasn't even opened yet. Look, the sign says they're open at noon. We'll stop right after lunch, okay? Now let's go." "They can't fool me," Clover cried, ignoring Sam. "I know they're in there, and they better open this door. Oof!" Clover saw a bright flash that knocked her backward, right into Sam and Alex. All three girls tumbled to the sidewalk. "Ow! What was that?" Clover moaned. Alex slowly opened her eyes. "Whoa, how did we get here?" Sam sat up and clutched her dizzy head. "That's strange. That felt like we collided with some sort of force field. Clover must have set off an electrical burglar alarm when she tried to practically break the door down." "That's not what I meant," Alex said. "Look over there." She pointed to Beverly Hills High School just across the street. "Hey, wait a minute," Sam cried. "This is impossible. We were in front of the shoe store a second ago. How did we end up in front of our school 6 blocks away?" Alex caught sight of the school's clock tower, then jumped to her feet. Who cares how we got here? Look at the time. We're late for school." Chapter 2. At the entrance of Beverly Hills High, Sam, Clover, and Alex got a nasty surprise. Mandy, their chief rival in just about everything, stood right in front of their path. "Well, if it isn't the three dweebs," Mandy said with a sneer. "You're just in time." "Let us through, Mandy," Alex insisted. "It's our school, too." Not so fast. Not until you vote," Mandy replied smugly. "Vote?" Alex, Sam, and Clover repeated together. "That's correct," said Principal Vegan as he walked up to them. "Everyone must vote today for a principal of the day. All students have a chance to do my job today." "Here you go," Mandy said, handing each girl a piece of paper. "And Mandy was kind enough to have these ballots printed," the principal added. Sam read the ballot and couldn't believe her eyes. "Mandy, your name is the first one on the list," she said, "and it's twice the size of everyone else's." Then Clover yelped. "Colver? Culver? You spelled my name wrong, Mandy. How could you?" "Oops," Mandy said, not so innocently. "Sorry about that." "And here's my name backward," said Alex, pointing to the name Zella on the ballot. "Well, at least you made the ballot. My name isn't even on it," said Sam. "Not that I really care about being principal for a day." "So sorry for the mistake, nerds," Mandy said, snickering. "But let's face it, none of you has a chance of winning anyway." "Let's all vote for Alex," said Sam. The girls scribbled their choices on the ballots and stuffed them into ballot boxes. "Now it's time to go to the auditorium and we'll announce the winner," said Principal Vegan. With everyone finally assembled, Principal Vegan stepped up to a microphone. "The winner, by unanimous vote, is Mandy," he said as the students cheered. "What?" said Clover. "I totally did not vote for Mandy." "Neither did I," Alex said. Sam frowned. "So how can it be unanimous?" All around them, the students began to chant, "Mandy, Mandy, Mandy." Principal Vegan tried to silence the crowd. "Hey, wait a minute," Mandy cried. "I'm the official principal now, right?" Principal Vegan nodded. "Then let the students cheer for me. I command it," Mandy declared. "Principal Mandy! Principal Mandy! Principal Mandy!" they all chanted, all except for Sam, Alex, and Clover. "I think I'm gonna be sick," said Clover as she clutched her tummy. This is too weird, Alex said, biting her lower lip. Sam agreed. I think something fishy is going on here, and we're going to get to the bottom of whatever it is. Chapter 3. Just then, the bell rang. The students fled out of the auditorium and hurried to their first classes. The only thing worse than having Mandy for principal is Mr. Benson's science class, Clover said with a sigh. Unfortunately for her, things only got worse when they got to the classroom. Pop quiz, Mr. Benson announced. Put away your books and take out your pencils. There were moans and groans all around as the teacher handed out the test. Hey, what kind of questions are these? Alex asked Sam in a loud whisper. Sam looked at the test. They're all about Mandy, she exclaimed. Is there a problem, Samantha? Mr. Benson demanded. This is supposed to be a chemistry class, Sam replied. But the first question is, what is Mandy's favorite color? What does that have to do with anything? Shh, said a boy sitting next to her. These questions are easy. Don't mess things up for the rest of us. You mean you know Mandy's favorite color? Alex asked. To her surprise, the whole class nodded. Mr. Benson shook his finger at Clover, Sam, and Alex. Maybe next time you girls will study before you come to class, he told them. Now sit down and take the test. Clover growled, but she did as she was told. After class, the girls were depressed. Well, I totally flunked that quiz, Alex said. I flunked too, and I usually get perfect scores on Mr. Benson's tests, said Sam. I can't believe those stupid questions, Clover said. I mean, who really knows how many dates Mandy has had this year? And who cares? Then Clover brightened. Hey, I flunked, but I know I'll feel better after I buy those shoes. Suddenly, a loud voice commanded, Halt! Clover, Sam, and Alex whirled around to find the two biggest football players at Beverly Hills High glaring at them. Both wore matching black clothes, and each guy had a large pink patch with a picture of Mandy's sneering face on his chest. Are you talking to us? Sam asked. You're breaking Principal Mandy's new rule. You're not wearing Mandy patches. Who says we have to wear them? Sam shot back. We do, the guys replied. We're the Mandy guards. Our job is to make sure everyone follows Principal Mandy's new rules. But we don't have any of those ugly patches, Clover said. One of Mandy's guards thrust patches into each of their hands. Now you do, he said. Put them on, and don't get caught in the halls without them. Alex suddenly noticed that everyone was wearing Mandy patches. Maybe we better put them on too, she said. Not me. I refuse, Sam declared. Come on, it's only for one day, Alex said as she placed a patch on her shirt. Get with the program, Sammy. We're gonna get in major trouble if we don't, said Clover, sighing. But Sam simply tossed the patch into a trash can. When the girls arrived at history class a few minutes later, a Mandy guard stopped Sam at the door. Hey, why are you not wearing your Mandy patch? He asked. Because it clashed with my shirt, Sam replied. Just then, Mandy strolled down the hallway, flanked by a dozen Mandy guards. All wore pink Mandy patches, even Mandy herself. What is going on here? Mandy demanded. Sam refuses to wear the patch, the guard barked. Is that true? Mandy demanded. Look, Mandy, I really don't care if you are principal for a day, said Sam. I know my rights, and nobody should be forced to wear something they don't want to wear, and you can't make me do it. Mandy cracked an evil smile. Grab her, boys. I'm sending Sam downstairs for a permanent detention. Chapter 4. Alex and Clover watched helplessly as Sam was dragged off to detention by the guards. Now that is a new low, Mandy, even for you, Clover said. And totally unfair, Alex added. Mandy just laughed. You're both lucky I don't send you to detention too, she said before tossing her wavy hair and walking away. Her guards followed her. I'd love to use a little whoop martial arts training to kick Mandy's butt right about now, Clover cried furiously. That wouldn't be a good idea, warned Alex. You don't want to blow our cover. Jerry would not approve. Whatever, said Clover. But what's the use of being a spy if you can't use your skills when you need them? This is high school, not spy school, said Alex. Clover! Hey, Clover! A voice called. Clover turned around to find Daryl, president of the chess club, rushing towards her. What do you want, Daryl? Clover asked. Can't you see I'm busy right now? You know that new kid Brad? Daryl asked. Clover suddenly paid attention. Do you mean Brad the hunk? Brad the dreamy eyes and to die for abs? She cooed. I guess, Daryl replied. I've heard the name, said Clover. Brad wants you to meet him for lunch in the cafeteria, said Daryl. You're not serious, Clover exclaimed, trying to contain her excitement. Yes, Brad wants you to meet him at the table next to the window, Daryl continued. Well, sure, I guess, Clover replied. Let me check my schedule. I'll tell Brad you'll be there, said Daryl as he walked away. Lucky you, Alex said playfully. Clover frowned. Now I know something weird is going on, she said. You mean the fact that Sam has been dragged off to permanent detention? Alex asked. No, not that, Clover replied. Don't you find it odd that the old Whoopaway hasn't whisked us off on some crazy mission, so far away that I'll never be able to make that date with Brad? That's what usually happens when we get a hot date, or concert tickets, or try to have some sort of social life. Said Alex. Now that you mention it, Jerry has been pretty quiet today. She fished her compounder out of her purse. I think I'll give Jerry a call, she said, just to say hello. But Alex could not reach Whoop headquarters, Jerry, or even Jerry's answering machine with a powerful top-secret communicator. Clover tried her own compounder, but it didn't work either. Finally, they both tried the payphone in the hall, but there was no dial tone. Something strange is definitely going on, said Alex. No doubt about it, Clover replied. The cutest guy in the school just asked me out to lunch, and I can actually keep my date? Now that's totally weird. Meanwhile, the Mandy guards had dragged Sam down to a basement deep under the school. As she struggled, the guards marched her through a long, dark corridor that looked like a cave, and it was cold. Sam began to shiver. Gee, it's so cold, it feels like we're on top of a mountain, she said out loud. But the Mandy guards said nothing until they reached a solid steel door. In you go, the biggest Mandy guard said as he opened the door and tossed Sam into a tiny, windowless cell. Then the door closed with a clang, and Sam heard a lock turn. Let me out, Sam cried as she pounded on the door. What kind of nutty detention is this? But the guards had gone, and Sam was alone. It's so cold down here, and it's lonely too, she said with a sigh. Chapter 5. Something's rotten at Beverly Hills High, declared Alex. I think we should have a talk with Principal Vegan and get it fixed. But Clover disagreed. Principal Vegan isn't the principal anymore, Alex. I can't believe it either, but Mandy's in charge, and Vegan seems to agree with everything she does. How can he help us? Vegan probably doesn't know about the Mandy guards, or the permanent detention, Alex replied. If we tell him, he'll stop Mandy from doing even more harm. Clover glanced at the clock on the wall, then shook her head. I'm not going to the principal's office, she said. It's almost noon, and I have a lunch date. I can't believe you're going on a date with Brad while poor Sam rots in a permanent detention, Alex cried. Permanent detention only lasts until the end of the day, said Clover. Tomorrow Vegan is principal again, and Mandy goes back to being stupid, annoying Mandy. Why should I miss the dating opportunity of a lifetime because everyone in the school is acting a little crazy? Well, I still think it's wrong to go on a date when Sam is in trouble, Alex snapped. You're just jealous, Clover shot back. And you're selfish, Alex said. Well, I'm gonna meet Brad and you can't stop me, Clover declared. Okay, just go off on your perfect date with your perfect guy, yelled Alex. I'm going to talk with Principal Vegan. With that, Alex stormed off to the principal's office, but when she got there, Alex found the door blocked by two serious-looking Mandy guards. Let me through. I have to speak to the principal, Alex told them. Maybe the principal doesn't want to talk to you, one of the guards replied. Yeah, beat it, said the other guard. Alex was taken by surprise when both guards lunged at her. Time to take the gloves off, she said. Forgetting her own warning about not using whoop training, Alex exploded into action. Ha! She yelled as she punched one of the guards, then landed a kick on his jaw. The guard fell backward and did not get up. Then the other guard charged at Alex, who quickly grabbed his shirt and tossed him over her shoulder. He crashed against a wall and slid to the floor. Hi-ya! Alex yelled as she kicked down the principal's door. What the? Mandy yelled as she stood up from behind Principal Vegan's desk. When she saw Alex, she said, Destruction of school property! That's punishable by detention. Permanent detention. Alex looked around and smiled. I like to see you put me in detention all by yourself. Mandy pressed a button on the desk. Before Alex could get out of the way, a net dropped from the ceiling, snaring her. Alex pulled at the net, but she could not escape. Just then, a group of Mandy guards rushed in. Take Alex downstairs and lock her up in the cell next to her friend, ordered Mandy. The guards ripped the net away and grabbed Alex. When they were gone, Mandy sat back down at the desk. Very good, Mandy. You've done well. A man's voice purred from the office intercom. 2 girls down and 1 to go. Now it's time to trap the little blonde, the one called Clover. With pleasure, Mandy said. Chapter 6. Sam was freezing, and her detention cell was getting colder by the minute. Who knew that the best air conditioner on Earth was at Beverly Hills High? She said. I could sure use a Whoop Model 2030 turbo shovel to dig myself out right about now. Fingers numb, Sam put her hands into her pockets to warm them. To her surprise, she found something in one of the pockets. A pen! Sam cried. And not just any pen. Sam had found the perfect accessory to her current predicament, a top-secret Whoop issue laser pen. This pen had a tiny laser inside that could cut through steel. Said Sam. I must have left this in our pocket after our last mission, which means it went through the wash. However, it should still work. I invented it myself, after all, with a rust-proof silver plating and a coat of extra-strength water sealant. It was so cold now that Sam could see her breath, but in spite of the chill, Sam was warmed when she saw the red-hot beam of the light start to melt the steel door. According to my calculations, I should be out of here in approximately 4 minutes and 26 seconds. Then it's off to the cafeteria for some of Mrs. Munkle's special extra-rich Swiss hot chocolate, said Sam. Meanwhile, Clover arrived at the cafeteria. She looked around and decided that things seemed pretty normal there. Students were talking and lining up at the counter with trays ready. Mrs. Munkle was dishing up some kind of goop to everyone. The only odd things there were the patches everyone wore, and the black-clad Mandy guards who stood at each door. Well, that will end tomorrow, Clover told herself. She picked up a tray, a steaming latte, and a tuna salad sandwich. Then Clover spied Brad waiting for her on the table by the window, just as Daryl had said. Hey, Brad, Clover said, trying to sound casual. Mind if I join you? Yes, please sit down, said Brad in a flat voice. You are supposed to be here. Yeah, I guess I am, said Clover as she sat down. Actually, I wasn't at all surprised that you wanted to have lunch with me. I'm glad you are here, Brad replied. You are expected. Clover giggled. Well, you did invite me. So how's your lunch? Good, said Brad. You are here. Wow, said Clover. I guess you do like me, huh? But Brad's eyes were no longer on Clover. He was staring at something behind her. Here come the others, he said. What others? Clover asked, disappointed. I thought we were going to be eating alone. Clover turned and saw about a dozen Mandy guards closing in on her. Yikes, she screamed as she jumped to her feet. I must hold you, said Brad as he wrapped his strong arms around Clover's waist. Hey, not so fast, Clover protested, squirming. We hardly know each other. But Brad refused to let her go. As they struggled, the guards came closer and closer. Clover desperately snatched the hot latte from her tray and threw the coffee at Brad. Suddenly, Brad released her and started to buzz and crackle. Sparks flew out of Brad's head, and then it whirled around like a spinning top before finally popping off like a cork and falling to one side. Ugh! I can't believe I was flirting with an automaton, Clover shrieked as she grabbed some napkins to wipe off the coffee that had spilled on her. As the mechanical Brad toppled to the floor, the Mandy guards surrounded her. Now Clover was trapped. Chapter 7. "Ha!" yelled Sam as she kicked the steel door. With a crash, the jail cell was open and she was free. "Now for that hot chocolate," Sam said with a shiver. But as she raced through the frigid hallway, Sam heard voices and screams from the other end of the corridor. "It's Alex! I'd know that cry anywhere," she said. In the corridor, Alex was struggling with two powerful Mandy guards. "Let me go, you creeps!" she shouted. Sam saw them coming and ducked around the corner before they could see her. She waited for the trio to pass. Then she struck the guards from behind. "Hi-ya!" Sam cried as she drop-kicked a Mandy guard. As the guard spun away, he let go of Alex's arms before hitting a stone wall. Sam smelled smoke as sparks sprayed from the guard's ears. "This is totally weird!" Sam exclaimed as she struck the other guard with an uppercut. Now Alex was free, and she gave the guard an extra punch for good measure. He hit the floor and began to sputter, sizzle, and pop. "Automatons!" Alex shouted. "Uh-oh. Where there are automatons, there's definitely trouble," said Sam. "Let's find Clover and find out what's going on around here," Alex said. But when they tried to find the exit, Sam and Alex became hopelessly lost. "This is crazy! How could I not have known there were so many tunnels under our own high school?" Sam asked. They wandered through the tunnels for a while until they finally saw a glow ahead of them. They walked toward the light, suddenly aware of an electronic hum. "More automatons?" whispered Alex. Sam shook her head. "I don't think so. The electrical resonance is too high to be an automaton," she said as they came to a tall steel door. "Look, a door," Alex said. "We can finally get out of here." The door was open just a crack, and both girls peered inside. The room beyond was gigantic, large enough to hold the entire student body at Beverly Hills High. And that's exactly who was in there. All of the students and teachers, the janitors, even Principal Vegan. Everyone was strapped to metal chairs, and they all had helmets on their heads. Wires connected these helmets to a massive computer in the center of the room. "Look, Alex, everyone from the school is trapped in there," Sam whispered. "Even Mrs. Munkle, the cafeteria lady. If everybody is trapped in there, then who's upstairs going to classes and electing Mandy for principal?" said Alex. "Not who, but what," Sam replied. "Everything's coming together now. I think people upstairs aren't people at all. Everyone has been replaced by automatons." "That is correct," an angry voice said. Alex and Sam turned around to find themselves surrounded by Mandy guards. In the center of the mob stood Mandy herself, and next to her stood a man in a black cape, a man very familiar to Alex and Sam. You rat!" Alex cried as the Mandy guards charged at them. Chapter 8. Meanwhile, Clover was still trapped in the cafeteria, surrounded by Mandy guards. As she tried to back away, they closed in on her. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she saw that she was within arm's reach of an open window. Faster than you can say Totally Spies, Clover spun around and jumped out. "Thank you, Jerry, for all the whoop training. I'll never complain about Saturday morning training sessions again," Clover said as she landed softly, feet first, on the grass just below the window. "There she is," a voice cried. Clover looked up to see the Mandy guards gathering at the window, but strangely, no one was jumping through the window to chase after her. "You bunch of cowards," Clover cried, shaking her fists. Suddenly, a dark shadow loomed over her. Clover screamed as she spun on her toes, ready to face her new foe, but when she saw the enemy, Clover's eyes went wide, and her knees began to shake. "Rum, rum," growled the giant sport utility vehicle, as it rose up on its back wheels. The tinted windshield squinted down like Clover like a giant evil eye. The grille opened to show razor-sharp chrome jaws. Then the SUV sprouted two huge mechanical arms with sharp steel snapping claws. They reached toward Clover. "Yikes! I better get out of here! My mother always told me not to play in traffic," she yelped. As Clover raced among the cars in the school parking lot, she heard the huge SUV smashing things behind her. She peeked over her shoulder in time to see the metal demon toss several vehicles aside with its claws. "Hey!" she cried. "You ought to drive more carefully." "Rum!" growled the SUV. It reached out and snatched the car with its powerful claws. Then it hurled the vehicle at Clover. Clover screamed and hit the ground. The car whizzed over her head, and then the strangest thing happened. The car smashed into the sky. "Now that's totally weird," said Clover, when she saw the cracks in what had looked like a normal blue sky, but before she had time to think about it, she had to leap to her feet and race between two cars. Seconds later, the monster SUV crushed them flat as it lunged for her. Clover surprised the SUV when she turned on her heels and ran toward it. As the mechanical monster's twin claws snapped at her head, Clover dove under the wheels and slid across the pavement. "Oh no! I've broken a nail! You'll pay for this!" Clover cried when she rolled out on the other side. The car tried to turn too, but it was too big. "Huh! I'm more nimble," Clover said with a grin, "and I used less fuel." Wheels spinning, the SUV raced after her. Clover ran across the athletic field and the football field in record time, finally stopping to catch her breath at the tennis courts. "Wow, I've never ran that fast in my life," Clover said, huffing. "That must have broken some kind of record. I wish Coach Jim could have seen me." She continued to run until she ran into a wall that looked exactly like the sky. "The whole school is surrounded by an invisible barrier," Clover exclaimed, "and to escape this gas hog, I have to break through or get broken." "Rum!" roared the SUV. Thinking fast, Clover pulled a napkin from her pocket and dangled it like a bullfighter's cape under the car's chrome nose. "Here, monster truck! Come on, boy!" she called out. Wheels spinning in the grass, tires smoking, the SUV charged toward Clover. It roared closer and closer. But Clover just stood her ground, waving the napkin defiantly. Finally, after the last possible second, Clover leaped aside and the car raced past her, crashing into the fake sky. It broke right through the wall. Clover flew backward as a blast of icy cold air gushed through the hole, but she managed to get up and run to the ragged hole in the barrier. She looked out in time to see the SUV plunge thousands of feet down, finally crashing into a snowy valley below. Clover could see mountain peaks in the distance, and she realized she was standing on top of a mountain herself, a very cold mountain. "I don't think I'm at Beverly Hills High School anymore," she said. Then she heard a loud cackle and a familiar voice saying, "That's right, you silly little Beverly Hills bimbo." Chapter 9. "Tim Scam!" Clover exclaimed. "I should have known." Tim Scam stood with Mandy at his side. Behind them, a bunch of Mandy guards held Alex and Sam in their grip. "The last time I saw you, you were trying to steal all of Whoop's secrets," Clover said. "I have a better plan now," Tim declared. "What, messing up my school?" Clover replied. Tim Scam held up something that looked like a remote control. "No, conquering the world," he snapped. "With this device, I can make every student in the world do my bidding." "You brainwashed Mandy?" asked Clover. "Mandy didn't need brainwashing," Tim replied. "She dislikes you as much as I do." Clover, Alex, and Sam glared at Mandy, but she looked away. "Maybe we can't stop you, but Whoop can," Alex declared. Tim Scam laughed again. "Jerry and Whoop are so busy trying to locate you that they have ignored their duties to protect the world, giving me all the time I need to hatch my brilliant scheme." "How did we get here?" Sam asked. "Remember when you were at the shoe store this morning?" Tim Scam said. "You mean that nutty burglar alarm?" asked Alex. "It wasn't a burglar alarm," Tim Scam declared. "It was a teleporter." He laughed at the girl's looks of disbelief. "Yes, that's right," he continued. "I teleported your entire school here to this fake Beverly Hills High, where Mandy could torment you to her heart's content." "Where is here exactly?" Alex asked. "The Himalayas, where Whoop will never find you," Tim Scam replied. Clover groaned and turned to Mandy. "I never liked you, Mandy," she said angrily, "but I honestly never thought that you'd stoop to..." world conquest to get one up on us. I didn't know, Mandy stammered. I just wanted to be popular. Tim Scant told me I would be popular. Yeah, said Clover, with a bunch of automatons. Tim Scam waved the remote control in front of the girls. This gadget will guarantee my control of the entire world. No! Sam cried as she jumped up and kicked the remote control out of Tim Scam's hand. Mandy caught it. Then the guards quickly grabbed Clover, Sam, and Alex. Tim Scam faced Mandy with his hand out. Give me the remote, he ordered. Don't do it, Mandy, Clover shouted. Mandy looked down at the device in her hand. All she saw was a lot of buttons. Give it to me, Tim Scam commanded again. No way, Mandy cried as she pressed all the buttons. No, stop that, screamed Tim Scam. Suddenly, the Mandy guards began to flail about, making sizzling and popping noises as they twisted in all directions. Alex, Sam, and Clover were free. No! Yelped Tim Scam as he took off running. Give it to me, Sam demanded, snatching the control out of Mandy's hand. She played with the device until all the guards stopped flailing about and stood at attention. You belong to me now, said Sam. We belong to you, the Mandy guard responded. I command you to attack Tim Scam. The Mandy guards immediately took off after Tim Scam. He ran back into the school, but within seconds he was back out. The last time anyone saw Tim Scam, he was running across the parking lot with dozens of Mandy guards running after him. Well, that takes care of Tim Scam, said Alex. Yeah, but how do we get off this mountain and back home? Clover asked, looking around. It's absolutely freezing up here. At that moment, a swarm of whoop helicopters appeared outside the barrier. From the lead chopper, Jerry waved to the girls. I've never been so glad to see Jerry, said Clover, and not a moment too soon. I still have to pick up those shoes. Chapter 10. Alex, Clover, and Sam stood in front of Beverly Hills High School the next morning. Jerry was with them as they watched the students enter the campus. They won't remember anything? Alex asked Jerry. Not a thing, Jerry replied. We used Tim Scam's device to erase all memories of the mass kidnappings. Even Mandy's brain was washed. You should have hung it out to dry, too, quipped Sam. It was better that way, said Jerry. Your cover is still intact, and you can still work for Whoop. Lucky us, said Alex. Well, I have just enough time to get to the shoe store, said Clover. Just then, Mandy walked up to the girls. Hello, nerds, she said. How do you like my new outfit? Clover gasped. Where did you get those pink shoes? She asked. Like them? They were in the window of a store down the street, Mandy replied. I bought the last pair. The last pair? Clover said. She stared at the shoes. They're just perfect, she said with a sigh. I think so too, crowed Mandy. I'm going to wear them to the spring dance. The end. For now.